Wheel. And hey, everybody, we are live. Welcome
Hello.
to another episode of the we're mostly weekly, Trans Talks. I am your host, Sammie James, and we are back with another one of our trans faves. Please welcome Alexander Michael Reeves. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Sammie?
Good, good. So the first thing I ask on this show is for my guests to introduce themselves a little bit more. I specifically ask, what words do you use to describe yourself? And that can be identity-wise or your interests. However, whatever that sparks in you, whatever that question sparks in you. And after you've answered that, any further intro that you want to give people to yourself, you're welcome to do that. But the floor is yours.
All right, awesome. So, hi, everyone. My name is Alex. My pronouns are they, them. I am non-binary and transmasculine and queer, I guess, just like general queer. I'm a voice teacher. I teach trans voice, so I teach trans femme voice, trans masculine voice, and androgynous voice, speaking and singing. And then I also teach cis students singing and acting as well. So lots of fun in that realm. It's a lot of fun. It's like the dream day job, and I'm an actor too. So I work in the field of acting. So that's always fun, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like my whole personality, other than I have an amazing partner who I love, and also a big part of my personality. I spend a lot of time with her. So yes.
Nice. So I was all set to like ask voice teaching specific questions. Just like, so like voice teaching, is this gender specific or acting and singing? And you answered it right up top. But I'll ask kind of both of these questions at the same time then. How did you get into both of those fields? Was acting something that you were always interested in?
Yeah, so I had a bit of a weird teenagehood. I was in foster care, and I didn't really get a chance to do acting until I was 17. And the first show I did, I got the privilege to lead in, and it was a queer theater company in Lexington, Kentucky. And it was a devised show. And it's just so much fun. Like, I was this 17-year-old foster kid, like just not really in anything because I had to move around so much. And then I got the chance to do it, and I just like fell in love with it. And then obviously I went to school for it because what else would you do? And then from there, I mean, I've worked several different acting gigs. Most recently, I was working at Disney World before the pandemic, and then I got into teaching once the pandemic started. So I had worked within the trans voice community as far as like activism, and I went to several like collegiate conferences, and that's actually where I met the person who introduced me to my current boss, who gave me the job to teach trans voice. So yes, shout out Mari, love you, thank you for everything and giving me the best job in the world. But yeah, so I starting working with people teaching trans voice specifically during the pandemic, when my friend who I met at a vocal conference in college, when we were advocating for transgender voices and collegiate settings, right? Had this job and was like, hey, we need some more people. Do you want to maybe do this? Because you're a great vocalist and you have a good voice, and I think you'd be good at this. And I was like, sure, why not, right? And then it's been the best job in the world, especially it's allowed me to be able to support myself without having to get something outside of the performing arts, which is like obviously a dream.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah. I think you already gave this answer, but just to confirm and clarify. So for trans voice, you teach that for both speaking and with trans vocalists. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So teaching with speaking voice. So like I have trans femme mostly. I also teach androgynous and trans math as well. But most of my students are trans femme, and I teach them how to sound more feminine in their day-to-day speech. And then the same thing with trans masc, teach people how to sound more masculine. And then the androgynous, we find something that they want to sound like somewhere in the middle and try to work towards getting them there. And it really does tie in a lot to do with singing, because it's all about placement and resonance and all this fun stuff that you learn in singing, but you don't necessarily transfer over to your speech, but you could, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of fun. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, cool.
I think I love teaching speaking voice more than I do singing. And that threw me for a loop, because I was like so gung-ho. I was like, yes, I'm a vocalist, I'm an actor, I can teach acting and singing. This is so fun. And then I got into just the speech lesson. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, and you get to see people's gender euphoria when they hear themselves for the first time. I'm like, yes, I love this. This is the dream job. I get to trans people all day. It's so fun, right? It's so good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll get back to the like career type questions. I don't have many more. But since you brought it up, I ask this question every week. What gives you gender euphoria?
Wonderful. I don't know. I really
I
strive to be androgynous most of the time. So when I find something that like fits me in a masculine and feminine way, I kind of really love it. I have this fuzzy sweater. That's a woman's sweater, but I got it like way too big for me. It's like 2XL. So like the shoulders are like really broad, and it makes me look very androgynous in a way that a woman's sweater normally wouldn't. And I love it's like teal and like a fuzzy little, it's like, you know, the inside of a blanket. It's the best. It's my favorite item of clothing at the moment. And yes, that is probably the best euphoric outfit for me. I wear it way too much. I've worn it like 6 times and I need to wash it, which is why I'm not wearing it right now.
And you know, you bring this up, it's like this just dawned on me. So I'm a big sweater person, and like I'm just like, oh, it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh, sweaters let me serve androgyny my way.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm a big cardigan. I like a cardigan.
Cardigans are great. Yes. I love it. I love it. I absolutely. And I have like, I don't wear headshot. I have some headshots for acting with like a button up, but most of them are with a sweater because it just feels more androgynous and me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as the acting, the performing arts, have you done anything else within the performing arts? Anything like adjacent to acting? And sort of like any like behind the scenes sort of any set work or anything? Just seemed like a question to ask.
Yeah. So I love theater and all of in the whole realm of theater, right? I've done some writing, I've done some directing, I've done some design in college. I haven't really done it professionally, but I enjoy it. I haven't really branched out in that direction yet, because I do think I like performing and directing and even writing more than design. I do enjoy it, and the people that do it well, oh my gosh, that's the best part of the show, right? But it's not the I like it, but it's not like the most passion for me. You know what I mean? Out of all the passion projects. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I love asking this question of actors on the show, and it's I'll ask it two ways, and in a way it's two different questions, but I think you can like choose which one of these to answer, I guess, but like the because like asking like dream role isn't really what I'm asking, but it's like what sort of role um would you really like the opportunity to play that you haven't gotten a chance to, you know, because like sometimes people are just like, I'm in all these comedies, but but
Yeah,
is there, yeah, you can go
for
ahead.
for sure. No, I love that
You got
question.
it.
I do. I got exactly what you're asking. I honestly think that I am obsessed with the niche that I found, right? Like, I on stage present very young masculine for the most part.
Mhm.
So I get to play like teenagers or kids a lot, which is fun, or young,
Huh.
goofy people, right? Which is a lot of fun. I do have a specific dream role. I know that's not exactly what you were
No,
asking, but
no, it's listen,
dude,
if you do, go ahead.
I do, right? I would love to be Christopher in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I don't know if you're familiar with that
Mhm.
play
Yep.
at all. Yes, I love it. That play is part of the reason why I found out I'm autistic. I saw it, I was like, oh, this is me. Everything is me, right? I also found out I was autistic working with autistic kids. When I was in college, I worked
Okay.
for 5 years, like as a one-on-one community support for 3 different autistic kids, and they turned into young adults and teenagers while I was working with them. And I was like, wow, I'm just hanging out with my friends. Like, this is so much fun. We're just hanging out, like having fun, doing the stuff we like to do. And it was just like, wow, I'm just like these people. And then I saw a psychiatrist and they're like, yeah, you're autistic for sure. So yeah, cool. So yes, I would love to play Christopher
Okay.
because as an autistic person who is not the typical Christopher, right? I'm not a man and I'm not a thin person. Um, I would love to play that role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Sorry.
No,
Definitely talked a lot about a lot of different stuff in that.
yeah, no, you answered the question. You had an, you know, the reason I ask it two ways is if someone does, you know, is if someone
Mhm,
doesn't have a dream role, they don't need, like, I don't know.
mhm. Right, for sure. For
Um,
sure.
but no, if yeah,
Mhm.
I'm always down. I'm always down for a specific
Yeah. I mean,
answer to that
it's
question.
literally the poster is right there.
Nice.
Obsessed, honestly.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, and I think that's what I have career wise. Two questions I ask on this um show. Um, I forgot what one of them is for a second. Sorry. Uh yeah, so what gives you gender euphoria? I asked that. No, I did ask. That's right, I asked two of them. Okay.
Mhm.
The final thing I ask every week is what cis nonsense are you sick of?
Good question. Can I say all of it?
Right?
Um,
It's like this is
uh,
everyone loves to answer this question. We all
definitely,
have an answer.
definitely just the toxic idea of such a binary world where it comes to gender expression. Not even identity
Yeah.
too, just even in the
Oh
system
yeah.
with their expression, right? They can't even, I don't know. It's just one of the most frustrating things because I see
Mhm.
cis men who clearly need to cry. and won't,
Right?
right? Or I see cis women who feel like they have to conform to this idea of femininity that they don't necessarily feel like that's how they fit, and it's just it's frustrating because you don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to be trans to be exploring your expression. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the most frustrating thing, I think.
Oh yeah.
It feels locked within that binary unless they identify outside of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I get not exactly where you went. Like I agree with what you were saying, but like I get just really whenever I'm like looking for clothes, it's just like, why are there two departments?
Yes, absolutely.
What the hell is a men's shirt?
Right.
What is that?
I agree. Clothes should definitely not be gendered. I don't understand that at all. I think some of the most masculine looking clothes on me are from the women's section, honestly.
Yeah.
And the same, like a lot of the clothes that I get from the men's section look femme on me. So
yeah,
whatever, right?
Yeah, and honestly, like that's why I wear a lot of clothes from the men's department. I'm just like, no, like this looks like a women's shirt on me.
Right. It's not.
It's like, listen, it's like I buy what I like on my body.
Right. Absolutely. You gotta not think about what it's labeled as, but how it makes you feel and look.
Mm-hmm.
In all aspects, not just clothes. Right?
Yeah. And here's a question. If you're comfortable answering, because I had some thoughts of asking about this if it seemed like the conversation was amenable to it. But you mentioned being autistic. What and this is, I'm not really sure how to ask this, but what or yeah, I'll simply ask if you're comfortable. What misconceptions do you think people have about that experience?
Yeah. I mean, one of the main things that I get when I say I'm autistic is you don't look autistic, or you don't sound autistic. You don't act autistic.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean, right?
Yeah.
So, I think people don't understand that it's not a linear spectrum, right?
Like most things.
Right. It's like there's a bunch of little sliders you can go up and down, like, and people don't understand that because I necessarily am good at presenting in a neurotypical world.
Yeah.
I don't struggle behind the scenes, right? Or I don't have people are quick to be like high functioning, low functioning, and those terms are so bad, right? We want to say high support needs or low support needs, right? So
I like that. No, I like that.
Yeah. So like it's not like the functioning within the world, it doesn't have anything to do with your worth. And somebody who could be labeled as low functioning, which is awful, we shouldn't say that. We should say high support needs, or somebody who has high support needs may very well do something a lot easier or better than me who has low support needs. So it's like, why are we putting these labels and structures just to make people feel bad about themselves? Because I mean, you wouldn't say, oh, you're a low functioning neurotypical because you lay in bed like all day. What? That would be so bad. You know what I mean? Like, so there's that. And it's like, what does an autistic person look like? What does an autistic person sound like? It's definitely not what the media is portrayed as, the white male example, right? So that's definitely not it. And neurodivergence is very common in the trans community as well, right? So I think people just don't understand if they're not within that world because of the way that mainstream media portrays it. And that's how a lot of things are, right? That's how we are as trans people. That's how the disabled community is. It's how the autistic community is. It's frustrating, but it's true. People don't necessarily understand us because they have a preconceived notion and they don't get it out of their head because the media portrays that, right? So that's where it is. It's frustrating. Awesome. Right? I'm sorry. I did.
No, it's your answer. Right? You're giving good, well thought out answers.
Okay,
like,
cool.
If they're long, it just means there was a lot to say.
Right. Absolutely. I have a lot to say about that. There's a lot to say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like I do not know this for myself, and I never really gave it any thought, except that like I have had multiple autistic friends who have just like assumed like, well, you know what it's like being autistic. I'm just like, I don't know that I do. But it's like I've had enough people who are like just like not even like ask, but like you are, or just like that like I don't know. It's a conversation I may be having.
I mean, and that's the thing. People who aren't cis men are very underdiagnosed, and I wasn't diagnosed until my early 20s, and that's very common in people who aren't cis men. That's right.
I'm definitely neurodivergent. Like that. Right. That I know, and I'm just like, I think you're just recognizing the other stuff.
Right. Who knows, right? And you don't have to label yourself if you don't want to, right?
I'm kind of like
neurodivergence is a beautiful umbrella, right? And I think there is a stigma behind saying I'm autistic. And there's a lot of subconscious bias too, right? For a long time, I refused to believe I was autistic, right? And that was because of the internalized ableism and a subconscious bias that I didn't even realize I had, because I was like, oh, I work with autistic kids. I can't be ableist, but like internally, I was like ableist in its own sense, right? And I re-examine that and be like, oh, that's okay. Like, why do I think I can't be autistic? Because I can do all of this. That's ableist. What are you thinking? Like, that's so bad, right? So re-examining myself allowed me to kind of explore that identity too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So I like to ask a bunch of fun questions on this show to end. And it's number one, and it's questions that we just don't get asked enough as adults anymore. And I'm so excited to know your answer to this question. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Favorite dinosaur? Interesting. Well, my partner and I were just talking yesterday about how T-Rexes have feathers, right? Literally yesterday. We're just talking about how they're not how we thought they were as kids. T-Rexes recently found out that T-Rexes have feathers like a bird, right? And so I think that's really cool and I love it. So I'm right now in this moment, I'm going to say T-Rex just because of that fun little discovery that I've had that most people probably already knew, but I didn't. So what's your favorite dinosaur, Sammie?
Oh, it's Ankylosaurus. I like that little club. Just seems like a cool little friend. It's just like if you bother them too much, they're gonna hit you with their little club tail. But it's just like I'm just getting a drink of water. Peck away.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. What is your favorite currently still existing animal?
Currently still existing animal.
That's a dark way of asking that question.
Right? It is.
I'm sorry. That's your favorite animal that isn't a dinosaur.
my favorite non Prehistoric animal, I
There
guess.
you go.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a hard question.
It is a hard question.
I like lemurs a lot. They're kind of cute.
Lemurs are wonderful.
They're kind of cute, right? Little monkeys. I also like yeah, like sugar gliders. Those are cool. You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Not everybody does, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah. How would you describe one for people who are watching and might not know what that is? It's like a fly. We gonna call it a flying squirrel type
it's
thing?
it's like a cross between a flying squirrel and a kangaroo, right? Because they're marsupials, so they have a pouch.
Mm-hmm.
But they're about the size of a squirrel and they fly. So it's like a tiny flying kangaroo squirrel thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely like adorable, but also ugly at the same time. Love it.
Oh yeah. You like an eye? Like an eye. Do you know these?
Yeah.
It's like that sort of just like that is so cute.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. What about you? Favorite animal that's alive?
Armadillo.
Armadillo? Do your answers change?
Like they do. I think they do, but it's like I don't know. I have like a list. I have like a list of 4 that like I'll give one.
One
like
of those 4.
armadillo. I like a polar bear. Bats. I'm really into bats.
Cool.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like the weirdos. Bats, armadillos, porcupine.
Why not?
Love a porcupine.
Porcupines are cool. Love it. Have you pet a porcupine before?
Nope.
My RA, the person that like runs the dorm in college, had a pet porcupine. And you're obviously not allowed to have a pet porcupine, right? But they kept it under their bed, and they were the RA that did the room check, so obviously they weren't going to get in trouble, right? But it was so cool, and I got to pet it, and it's not spiky unless you poke it you pet it the wrong way, right? It's nice, yeah, so cute.
Yeah. Yeah. So I ask this question every week. What is your comfort food, comfort music, comfort movie?
Okay. Was not prepared for these. I feel like the world is too broad.
It's fair.
But comfort food? I really like rice. I'm a big into rice. I also like chicken. So anything that's like chicken and rice, great. But it has to be good rice. It can't be like just plain white rice. It has to be like jasmine rice or
you like basmati rice?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
But plain like white rice or like brown rice, that's not it. Not at all. For movie, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of movies, honestly. I've watched Encanto like 6 times lately, so I'll go ahead and say that right now, I guess.
It was so good.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Yeah. I saw I was like recently, and it's like normally like I don't care. I'm like not bothered by people's opinions of like movies or like works of art unless it's like shitty, but this was just this unless it's like paired with a shitty view. But I saw someone who was just like oh no, I'm just gonna say it, Encanto's not good, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, what?
My brother, I told him to watch it, and he literally said he got through 5 minutes, and I was like, John, you have to watch more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes doesn't give you anything.
If you don't cry during the one sister's song, you don't. the like weight of the like.
Mhm.
I can't remember. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Louisa, Surface Pressure.
Yes.
No. All of them, all of the sisters had such good stories. I think Lynn is an amazing writer, specify writer. Love his works in general. He did a great job with Encanto. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it. Such a good movie. It's like musical theater Disney. And I feel like I feel like Disney's been going that direction with a couple like Frozen with Adina and Jonathan Groff and all of them was the first kind of branch.
Yeah.
Specifically Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Like Into the Unknown, that's very musical theater. The song Kristen Bell does, I don't even remember what it is, very musical theater. I just feel like I love this new Disney vibe. Yes. Bring in the musical theater, Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Moana might be my comfort cartoon movie.
Yeah, Moana's good. Moana's good. Another Disney and another Lynn, right? He did that one too.
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. So comfort music.
Oh, comfort music. I listen to so many different types of music. I've been listening to a lot of like pop punk rap lately, and it's reminding me of being a teenager and angsty, and I kind of right, but I also feel guilty saying that out loud. Specifically, I like Machine Gun Kelly, and I know that's controversial. People don't, but I am kind of a stan. And it's like a comfort music from like I listened to it when I was like 16, and then okay, I'll listen to it again. You know what I mean? Not the typical music I listen to though. I like a lot of stuff. I like musical theater a lot. I like indie music. I'm a big fan of the Cranberries from the 90s.
Nice.
A huge fan. Are you familiar?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift. That is a recent development. My partner has gotten me hooked, especially her new singer-songwriter stuff. Really good if you haven't listened. Very different from all the old stuff. I love it. I love it. What else? I don't know. Ingrid Michaelson's good. Yeah, like I said, you made a face when I said Machine Gun Kelly. Not my typical type of music.
No, I listen. No, we all have guilty faves. Okay?
Right.
We all have guilty faves.
Right. Absolutely. And it's not like, oh, I know he's not a good person, but I just like the music sometimes, you know?
Listen. It's like Morrissey fans understand.
Right. What's your favorite music, Sammie?
I'm I listen to a whole bunch. I think if we're going comfort music, it's I always like when I like really need to like I'm in my feels. I think currently it's been a lot of Brandy Carlisle when I'm not feeling great. When I broke up with my partner last month, and it was just listening to Brandy Carlisle and crying.
Have you heard her song with Taylor Swift? Yes. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. You're like, oh, you're not a Swiftie. Never mind.
It's fun. It's like honestly, but hey, I will tell you this. It's like I fucking love Shake It Off. And it's like that is a song that will just get stuck in my head. But it is like I specifically, when I hear that song, I can only hear it from this movie called Little Monsters, not the 1989 movie, but like I think it's 2017 about saving kids from zombies. but it's like I think he's one of the Skarsgårds. But there's just this big burly guy who at the end is just singing that to children, and I'm just like, every time I hear that song, it's like a comfort. It's like a comfort movie scene and a comfort song all together.
Have
But
you heard the theory that she's a lesbian?
Oh, have I heard that theory? Only from every lesbian.
Okay. I won't throw it out then. Definitely agree. Definitely think she is. There's so many facts if you listen, actually. But I'll if you've heard it, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. No. Oh, I am well aware of that.
There's no way it's not true. I'm sorry, Swifties that think she's straight. You're wrong.
I mean, listen, bisexuals exist, but
sure, and I definitely think
preferences also exist.
Right. Right. She's definitely not a straight woman, no matter how you spin it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. But for comfort, like it's been a lot of Brandy Carlisle. Right now, and like that sort. I like a good like queer folk music
for sure.
Absolutely. But I always go back to 90s alternative and 70s punk.
So you were familiar when I said you were like Cranberries, yes, love, right?
Yeah.
Dolores has the voice like no other. I can't describe it. I don't understand how she does it. Very, very good.
Yeah. So final thing I ask on this show, before I let you plug whatever you want to plug, but what trans folks do you think are doing good work right now? And that doesn't need to be in the arts. That can be activism. That can be in any field. If you know a trans chef who you're like, go to this restaurant, go.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think there are so many trans folks in. I wanna shout out all the trans people who are working jobs in the healthcare industry right now. Specifically, all the jobs that all the frontline workers, all the people that have to go out and risk their lives every day. I applaud you for being you and doing it in a way that is authentically yourself and helping all those people, because that is so admirable. And I all of everybody who works a job that is, I don't care about, I mean, obviously I care about the actors, obviously I care about the advocates, obviously I care about all those people, but I really care about everybody else who's doing all the groundwork for us to exist in the way that we do, right?
Yeah. And this was months ago at this point, but I got my flu shot from a non-binary person.
Yes,
which is like I'm like in line and I see the person, I'm just like I don't know. And then like when I'm there, I'm just like, that's a they them pin.
Absolutely love it. I love it. And that's
it was, just like the acknowledging nod, and they're just like, okay, I'm gonna stick you now.
And nobody is out there representing us specifically in the medical field, and that's so important. It's so important to have people that are non-binary and trans working and developing things so they include us in their thought process, right? So,
absolutely.
Awesome. And I love that you got to experience that, because that felt good, right?
Oh yeah, and I was just like, and it's not very often,
right? And it's not like you don't have a plethora of trans people, it's just like it felt good because you saw somebody in that role.
Yeah, I was just like, and like, listen, I don't know, it's like I have friends who are nurses. It's not like it was one of them. I was
right. It's still cool. It's still like
no, it's honestly like it's cooler because I'm just like, look at this person I don't even know.
I have a student who's a doctor and he does great work, and I'm just like, thank you. You've been working as a doctor, and I'm sitting here working on Zoom teaching you, and you're out working, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you are great. I love it. Thank you. Right.
So, Alex, where can people find you on social media if you want them to do that? How can people support you? What do you have going on? Whatever you want to plug and tell people, go ahead and do that.
For sure. I am a resident member at Epic Players in New York. It is a neurodivergent theater company, which is pretty cool. So check them out. Not just me, them specifically. Ignore me if you must, but check them out because they're really cool and they do a lot of great work. It's a school and a professional theater company together. So they have a professional company of neurodivergent players, and then they also have a school to teach neurodivergent and autistic players who may want to learn how to become professional actors in the future. So it's both. And it's really cool because the professional people who are neurodivergent can help teach the neurodivergent students, and it's just a really cool place. So check them out. For me personally, I have an Instagram that I rarely use, but you are free to check it out. It's AMJREEVES. Just my initials and then my last name. So yeah, I have a website, but it's not like alexandermichaelreeves.com. It's not that. It's like a Wix site link. I'm not gonna try to read that off. But I'm sure if you really wanted to find it, you could search Alexander Michael Reeves and it would come up. Cool. That's it, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. I did that earlier today to prepare for this interview. You'll find it.
Oh, it comes up. Great. Awesome.
Eventually. It's like eventually.
And if you type in James, it will probably come up faster. That's my Alexander Michael James Reeves. That's my second middle name, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Yes. But no need to check me out. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, Alexander, thank you so much for talking to me today. This was great. I had a blast.
Yes, thank you, Sammie. I had a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoyed talking to you too.
Awesome. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We do this show pretty much every week. Next week, there will be two. I believe it is Wednesday. Wednesday night, we're surprising you. I believe it is Wednesday night. I will be talking with comedian and actor D-Lo. Fantastic. I'm really excited for that. And next Saturday, I will be talking with comedian, actor, musician, Kyle Atwater. I'm excited for both of those. Hopefully you'll tune in for those. Until next time, take care of yourselves, everybody, and